he wants to be chairman, he wants to do this. I thought he'd just maybe like it for a week or so. And he just is brutal, he won't stop, he's just a winner. So Steve, you and Andrea, what are you sitting right there? Special people. And you're setting records. Did Steve, as I was coming down the stairs and shaking hands, did Steve talk about the record that we set? We set a record. And now we have well over $70 million. You know, it's always been the other way. The Democrats always had all the money and the Republicans were always fighting for survival. Oh, it's much better this way, don't you think? Well, I just want to thank you all. And sit down, folks. It's always nice for us to get up and never sit down or what. We're all friends, right? So we know each other well. I know almost everybody in the room. I want to start by thanking Melania, who really has been amazing. Melania, stand up. What a good person. We went to Saudi Arabia, we went to all over the world. She's greatly respected. Greatly respected. She's done some job, so I want to thank you. You know, we decided to run just a couple of days more than 2 years ago. So June 16th, 2 years ago. And we came down the escalator, and I see on and do it's actually a very famous escalator right now. But who would have known this was going to happen, folks? But it happened, and I'll tell you what, our country's doing very well. We're doing very well, and we're going to talk about it. But first, I wanted to just thank RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. Where's Ronna? So Ronna, you know, headed up a place called Michigan, which we love. And Michigan hadn't been won in how many years has that been? 30 plus years. And everybody said, well, Michigan can't be won, but that's okay. But she, every time I met her, she felt good. We kept saying, you're going to win the state. You're going to be that plus, you're going to win the state. And the last day of my campaign was Michigan. I started the speech at 1 o'clock in the morning. I got there actually on election day because we heard that the Clintons were going to Michigan. And it was unscheduled. They were leaving at 6 o'clock with the Obamas. They were going to give another little hit, and it was unscheduled. It meant trouble. You know what that means? When it's unscheduled, it means trouble. And they went, and I said, well, we have to go too. So I finished up the speech in New Hampshire, got on the plane, we landed at 12:30 in the evening, so now it's election day. Started speaking at 1 in the morning, and we had 32,000 people. And 1 in the morning, and I said, tell me why we're going to lose Michigan. And the next day, we won Michigan. And what I did I rewarded the person that ran Michigan, and Rice and myself and a few others decided that Ronna would be fantastic doing the whole deal. So congratulations. You and and then we have another one here. Bob Panucci. Where's Bob? Where is he? His family's proud of him. But he had a place called Ohio. You know, we love Ohio. And we always heard that you can't win unless you win Ohio. I was here for 6, 7, 8 months. Unless you win Ohio, there is no path to victory. Right there, there is no path to victory. This is Howard Roth, one of the great real estate advocates. There is no path to victory without Ohio. I had a little problem in Ohio. The governor was against me, and the Republican Party was against me. Other than that, I didn't quite But I had Bob. And Bob kept saying, you're going to win. You're going to win the state. I said, how do you do that? And he just went out, and not only did we win, we won by 9 or 10 points. It wasn't even close. I think it was over about 2 minutes after the polls closed. And again, we didn't have the party, and we didn't have the governor. Now we have everybody. Actually, the governor was very nice. He called me the day after the victory to congratulate me. I said, you're a little bit late. But Bob didn't care. Bob said it's going to help him. He actually said, you know, he's a rebel. So Bob said it's going to help. And we won the state of Ohio easily. And it was that was some night, Bob. So we said, let's put Bob in the RNC too. So we put a lot of winners in the RNC. And then we went out and we got some real friends, because Louis DeJoy and his beautiful wife and son were met for the first time, just about the first time. But he was there, right, very, very successful man. What I like about Louis, he started out in Brooklyn, New York, and now he's an international and a world person. But tremendous success. But Louis was there from day one. Louis, where are you, Louis? Where are you? Stand up, Louis. Stand up, Mr. DeJoy. You're really something. And you started in Brooklyn, Louis. Remember how that's the thing I remember most about it. I like people that started in Brooklyn. But a great success story, and I appreciate it. And Elliot Brody was fantastic. What is Elliot? Everybody knows Elliot. Thanks, Elliot. We love Elliot. And Brian Ballard, who's a tremendous person in Florida, who's worked with me for years. And Michael Cohen. Is Michael here? Michael Cohen. Michael, I don't see Michael anymore. You know Michael. Michael is a great lawyer. And you know, now he's not as active, but he's still active. He'll always be active. But Michael is a really great lawyer, loyal, wonderful person, talented, loves being on television, become a television star. But I haven't seen Michael in a month. It's good to see you, Michael. Good to see you. I miss you, man. And they're all doing, this group, a special group of people that are doing a really fantastic job. And we have Rice. Where's our Rice? Rice. It took years before people know how to pronounce his name, right? Ryan's Street. Now it's very routine. Everyone knows Ryan's Street. This is simple. But it took a long time for people to get that one right. And he's doing a fantastic job. And always putting out fires. You know, the fake news fires, I call it. Where did CNN get killed over the last few years? Fake news. They had one of these guys on today. Lonnie, what was his name? Van Jones. Did you see this guy? He's talking about Russia, serious. Then some guy goes up and I guess he thought he knew. And they start talking about Russia. That's a nothing burger. That's a nothing burger. These are really dishonest people. Should I sue them? I mean, Jeff Zucker, I hear he's going to resign at some point when he's done. I mean, these are horrible human beings. And they've created like a total fiction, but it's a shame what they've done to the name CNN, that I can tell you. But as far as I'm concerned, I love it. If anybody's aware of that, if you think I have to listen to it, it's that would be like you do. Wouldn't that be fun? How does the President of the United States do something? I don't know. But I want to thank everybody because it's been this incredible period of time. We had a fantastic start in 2017. We're actually 5-0 in the elections. You know, everyone says 4-0. We got a place called California where we want to do. So we're undefeated. And we have Nancy Pelosi. She said, yes, President Bush had a good night. Like 3 times she called me Bush. She's a little off, folks. She's a little off, but we want to keep her right where she is, right? We don't want anything. I don't mind. She can call me anything she wants as long as she stays in the exact same position. But we have to give the fake news some credit because, they promised that these elections, all 5 of them actually, would be a referendum on Donald Trump. This is a referendum on Donald Trump. And at the end of the evening, when they said, wow, Trump won everything over a period of weeks. Don't forget, we had 4 that were really, they thought they had a good chance of winning. They didn't come close. But they were saying, this is a referendum on Trump, the Friends. And the other people were saying, no, we never said it was a referendum. So now they want to get out of the referendum stuff. But it was a referendum really on your party. It was a referendum on the Republican Party. And that's a lot to pick up. You know, when you pick up 5, they got a long way to go. That was a big setback. They spent in Atlanta $30 million, and the number's going to end up being quite a bit more than that, which is by far the biggest. I think the record is 18, Ron, isn't it? 18 million. They spent $30 million plus. And they had a kid that couldn't even vote in this area. So I told him, I said, next time, make sure you get a candidate who's able to vote in his district. And you would have thought that, honestly, Steve Wood would have done this. If Steve were running, he would have at least rented an apartment for a year. Well, who ever heard of this? A candidate goes out and spends $30 million, but he doesn't want to spend $150 a month in an apartment. Unbelievable. He's another beauty. Well, we'll miss him in the House of Representatives. So I know a few of you folks have stock. You're stock in good companies. And your stock has gone up a lot. Because it's almost now $4 trillion since November 8th, election day. $4 trillion. And unemployment is at a 16-year low. Think of that, 16-year low. So yeah, the markets are going great. And you know, one thing that I say that a lot of people don't hear too much about, they have a group that does polling and does a whole thing on enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm, spirit, enthusiasm, very important. And in the history of this particular endeavor, we are rated with manufacturers and with business the highest ever in the history of the chart or the poll. Enthusiasm so we have a lot of good things happening. Since taking the oath of office, I've signed more bills and new executive actions. And don't forget the bills, we're talking about legislative bills. And I've had the help of Paul Ryan, who's here someplace, but I know Paul's here. Where is Paul? He's here someplace. We're doing another, I like that better. We shift them over to another fundraiser. And we've actually done very well together. We're working great. Gave me a little hard time during the election. You know, we didn't but now we get along great. He's actually a good man. And we've done well together. And we passed more legislative bills, I believe, than any president in history thus far. So we're in there for a little more than 5 months. And these are big bills. For instance, the other day we passed with the VA, the accountability, called the VA accountability. They've been trying to get this passed for 50 years. The unions and civil service, but the unions weren't exactly thrilled with the bill. This means that somebody's not doing a good job, you say, you're fired. Get out. You know, they don't do a good job, that's what has to happen, right, Elliot? So what happens is we get that passed, and that was the 40th bill that we signed. That means House of Representatives, United States Senate, puts in my desk. And today we had a great one on sanctuary cities. We're going to toughen it up good. And also case law, people coming into the country. Tomorrow it goes to a vote in the House, and I think it's going to do very well. I think it's going to do very well. People are getting smart. They're realizing actually what I said 2 years ago when I talked about crime and illegal immigration and lots of other things that turned out to be true. But I think these will do very well tomorrow. We're hoping. You'll watch. We've eliminated restrictions on energy production so that American resources can power our great American economy. And today I had Pat Roberts, Senator Pat Roberts in my office, and he was so thankful for the farmers, for the people that want to do something with the land. So many people were in buildings, they couldn't use their land. Their land was taken away by government. And we've already signed all of those restrictions out. And people have their land back, they have their rights back, they have the right to farm and to grow. It is somewhat controversial move, although it turned out not to be controversial, and actually by my standards, it probably was one of the least controversial things I've ever done. I signed the Keystone Pipeline. I mean, if you think about signing a massive, many billion-dollar pipeline, goes from Canada down to Texas. That's nothing compared to the kind of controversy I've had. But isn't my controversy, when you say this, I think, Louis, my controversy is more fun than that, than the Keystone. But the Keystone's going to employ between that and the Dakota Access, which was also another big controversy. We're talking about 48,000 jobs, Randall. That's good. Not big by AT&T standards. Compared to AT&T, that's like a small deal, but I'll tell you what, Randall, stand up. Head of AT&T, folks. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. They were at the White House the other day, along with some of the great innovators and great geniuses of really our time. And Randall made a presentation that was so incredible as to what the future holds. It's really incredible. So thank you. On behalf of the country, thank you very much. We've ended the war on coal. Our miners have been put out to work, and we have clean coal. There is a thing called clean coal. You look at China, you look at so many other countries, they're using it. Theirs isn't so clean. With us, we have to have clean coal. And we're putting our miners back to work. 33,000 mining jobs have been added since inauguration. And we're creating another way to energy back. Our power plants need coal, and they want the alternative. And you know, you can store coal, massive amounts of coal. Other forms of energy, very hard to store, and in most cases you can't store it at all. So in terms of even protection for our country, we have to be able to store energy. Coal, you just pile it, and it's good there for a long time, forever. So it's very important, but most importantly, it's also important to take care of our miners. They've been so great to us for so long, and they have been really badly treated. And with technology today, and with the clean coal power, and the amount of coal, we have more coal than any country in the world. And we now have more energy, generally speaking, than almost any country in the world. We are going to see the next part of energy. And when you think about it, even a year or two ago, we will very soon be an exporter of energy. We'll be selling energy as opposed to having to use it ourselves and going out to all sorts of parts of the world and buying energy. So we're excited about that. That'll be massive amounts of money coming into our country. We've withdrawn from international agreements that would have been disastrous for our country. TPP would have been a big mistake. And we're going to make individual bilateral deals, but we're not going to have all of these deals together. We're going to make individual deals with individual countries that they're going to be all over the place. Is that David? David, stand up. Look, I didn't hear you here. David, stand up. Look at you. Wow. I didn't know my David. One of the great people, one of the great senators. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I would have known you were the audience, I would have been nervous. David, I'll tell you what, and is he your uncle? Cousin. He's doing a great job, right? Did I make the right deal? You gotta believe it. Thanks, thank you, Senator. I appreciate it for being here today. Are we getting the vote today, by the way? How's the vote coming around here? I think we're going to have a good shot at that, right? And you know what? It's way up there. It's going to be a It's going to be a phenomenal plan that, and we have to, folks like David or myself, we have to go out and sell it. Because the one thing the Democrats do, well, they have horrible policy, but they do stick together, bad ideas, but they stick together, and they get out and they can criticize better than anybody that I've seen. And I hear this guy Schumer, who I've known for a long time. I call him Crying Chuck. Because you remember a month ago he was crying. He was crying, oh, poor Chuck. I felt so bad. I've never known him as a crier. I've known him for a long time, but I've never seen him cry before. We call him out Crying Chuck. But he gets up and he had no idea what we had in our plan. No idea whatsoever. In fact, the Republicans had no idea what we had. We hadn't drawn the plan yet, right? And he got up and he started saying, this is the worst plan ever. Nancy Pelosi was saying, hundreds of thousands of people are going to be killed. What a horrible thing to say. I still don't want to listen. But what a horrible thing to say. But he gets up and he starts criticizing the plan that he has no idea what the plan is. Actually, if we get it approved, and it's very hard because we won't get one Democrat vote. They're stuck with Obamacare, which is failing, which is finished. It's finished. Premiums now just were announced yesterday, 216% increase. 116% in Arizona, way over 100% in many other places. And this is going to be a good year compared to what we have coming in the future. So Obamacare is dead. Our plan is going to reduce premiums tremendously, provide much better health care, do so many different things. Get rid of the horrible mandates where people pay not to have insurance. How about people paying not to have insurance? And they count them as though they're people that are partaking. You pay not to have insurance. So Obamacare is a disaster. We have a good chance. Now, I did notice tonight that Schumer said we ought to get together and negotiate. Now, what does that mean? That means he thinks we're going to have it passed. Because I noticed tonight he all of a sudden is being so nice. He's such a nice person. Such a nice guy. We're transforming the Veterans Administration. You know, during the campaign, I talked more about the veterans and had tremendous support for the veterans. Tremendous support. And we are really doing that. David Shulkin is here also, a secretary. He is doing a special job. And the VA is coming along, whether it's what we signed today or whether it's so many other things that are in the pipeline and already have been signed. The VA, you know, the waiting period is a disaster. Think of it, you're all rich people. Otherwise you probably wouldn't be here. But you're rich. I shook so many hands today, minimum $100,000 to shake hands. When I said that to Melania, I said, you know, they're paying a fortune to shake that hand. When she heard the announcement, she said, now I understand why you shake so many hands. But you know, David and us, all of us together, we went out and we have a board that is so spectacular in terms of successful people who want to do well for the VA filing. And you're going to see some change. They have a situation at the VA, think of yourselves, you know, with people that have doctors, with people that can go see a doctor, you walk in, you have a doctor's appointment, it takes you 20 minutes and you're inside. And it takes a moment that you're angry at the doctor. These people are waiting 7 days, 8 days, 9 days on a line. They get in, sometimes they can't get in for weeks. There have been many cases where they'll have a problem that's very curable. And by the time they get to see the doctor, the problem becomes terminal. There's nothing they can do about it. And it's really been horrible. And we just approved the choice program. That if they have to wait, they go see a doctor, a local doctor, and we pay the bill. And it's so much cheaper. And people have wanted that for years. And before I knew anything really about the VA, early on I said, you know what, if you have a 9-day wait, why don't they just go out and see a doctor? And our country will pay for the doctor. And it's really the least expensive thing that can happen. Now we have to negotiate some good prices with some good doctors, because I know doctors, but why don't we do this? Only the doctors are laughing at that one. In one way they're laughing, in another way they're crying. But everyone's so happy now. It's called choice. They don't have to wait 9 days, and they don't have to wait 28 days. They go out and they take care of themselves, they take care of their family, and it's done properly. We take care of them, and we take care of our great veterans, and the bill, we take care of that. So it's really something that's been well received, to put it mildly. Last month I held a historic summit with 54 leaders of the Muslim world. This was something that was epic. Steve Winter and I were talking about it. There's never been anything like this that anybody ever remembers. It was in Saudi Arabia. We were with the king, King Solomon of Saudi Arabia. And as you know, between Saudi Arabia and Qatar and others, hundreds of millions of dollars on a monthly basis goes toward funding terrorists and terrorism and radical Islamic terrorism. And I said, it has to stop. You know, you can't stop terrorism if they have this unlimited source of funds. Unlimited. The wealth is staggering. The wealth is staggering. And we said, you have to stop. You have to. And the king was fantastic. We spent 2 days together. And he was great. And all of the countries wanted to. We're having a dispute now with Qatar, sometimes referred to as Qatar. We always say Qatar. It's Qatar. They prefer. I prefer that they don't fund terrorists. So they really are fighting the hard fight. There's a tremendous dispute going on right now. And in the end, I think you're going to have a situation where terrorism and funding terrorism goes away there. I've been getting very soundly criticized by these folks who don't know what the hell they're talking about, having to do with various funding of NATO. Now, NATO is something, I'm all for NATO, just so you understand, I'm all for it. But the problem is these countries don't pay. We're paying our 72% across to NATO. And all of these other countries, they're supposed to be 2%. Well, we're at almost 4%. I'm saying, well, wait a minute, it helps you more than it helps us. Why are we paying 70% across to NATO? So for NATO, I don't think they need to spend $2 billion building an office building. That's massive, almost 3 million feet. I don't think they needed to spend that. I'd rather have buy army tanks and other things, frankly. The office building was a beautiful office building, right in the middle of the field. If there's a war in about 4 minutes, that's the end of that office building. People are going to be running around saying, what happened to our office building? The first 5 minutes of war, that's gone. You know, it's the last building done by skipping. It's unbelievable. But I said, I don't mind what you got to pay. Germany's not paying what they should be paying. And other countries are not paying what they should be paying. And now the head of NATO is going around saying Donald Trump is the greatest thing that's happened because he's getting these people to pay. And the money is now pouring in at a level that it's never been before. And I'm being very strong on it. But you know, it's one thing for us to pay, it's another thing for us to pay and then not pay their fair share. So we believe in NATO, we believe in helping people and helping countries, but we also have to get those countries to pay their fair share. Aren't we tired of being the fools in our country? Aren't we? Look at various countries that we defend. We defend Germany, we defend Japan, we defend South Korea, we defend many countries. And all I ask is that they have to help us out also. It's no longer that time when, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 40 years ago, times are different. And we don't mind helping, but let them at least reimburse us for a certain amount. You're talking about massive amounts of billions of dollars. You're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. And we're a great country. But we now want to be a great country, but we also want to be a smart country. And we want to be a country that's appreciated, not a country that's laughed at and scoffed at for doing what we do. So a lot of countries are now coming to the realization that we can be friends, but we'll have good trade deals. And if we help them with the military, they will also So maybe whether people like that or don't like it, that's the way I feel. And actually we'll have a better relationship with those countries because they'll respect us again. They won't think we're the fool. They'll respect us again. And that's very important. We have to be respectful. We're rebuilding our military, and there's been rarely a time when we needed it more. David has been fantastic, and a lot of folks have been great, but there has never been, well, you had other times, obviously. You had World War I, and World War II, and lots of other times. But there's rarely been a time when we need to have a great military any more than we do right now. And so we're rebuilding our military. Our military is very powerful, very strong, getting very much stronger by the day. We're starting to be respected again. We've made tremendous strides with respect to ISIS, which we have to take out. When Syria gassed innocent people and children, we hit them with 59 missiles. We went 59 for 59 from 700 miles away. Think of it, we have ships in the ocean. And we went with the missiles, the Tomahawk missiles. We went 59 for 59 and hit them. And we said, you can't do that. You can't gas children. You can't gas people. You can't do it. When President Obama drew the red line in the sand, he didn't honor that red line because they had massive attacks right after that, and he didn't do it for whatever reason, I don't know. I think if he did do it, it would have been a lot different. But when he didn't do it, all of a sudden Iran goes in and Russia goes in and people feel emboldened. But when we draw red lines, folks, we have to honor those red lines. That's a very important thing. When you make those statements, you have to honor. So we have an opportunity to do many things. We're very, very strong now at the border. We're going to build a wall, by the way. One of the ideas, I should speak to you, Randall, one of the ideas we have for the wall that I came as a builder, all of my builder friends, I have all these geniuses from New York. I think Howard likes this idea. Oh, look, we have Stanley. Stanley's like, wow, he's a big monster. Nobody ever knows who the hell he is. He's ridiculous. He's got more Manhattan real estate. Nobody knows who the hell he is. How good is that thing? Stanley, if you own buildings all over Manhattan and nobody knows who you are, what the hell good does that do, right? Stanley's real estate people. But, so Stanley, so we're thinking about a wall, and we're actually thinking it's southern border, tremendous sun, tremendous heat. We're thinking about literally a solar wall where it pays for itself, which is pretty cool. Number one, we'll certainly look at it, right? We certainly look at it, but we're going to have a wall. But we've done very well with the water. 78% border crossing is illegal coming in now, 78% down. Nobody thought that was crossing. And one of the things we're very proud of is Justice Gorsuch. That's our very big thing. He's going to be amazing. And you know, Justice Gorsuch, when I interviewed him, I was very, very impressed. And number one at Harvard, number one at Oxford, number one anywhere he went, and a high-quality person, considered one of the great legal technicians and legal writers, scholars. And it was hard to reject him, but it was very hard. But, and they tried, believe it or not. They obstruct. The Democrats have really obstructed. That's what they're doing. Even us, you know, we have positions that we pick people for, but they can't get through because every single person goes through maximum. Woody Johnson is here today, and Woody is the ambassador to the Court of St. James, which is, as you know, a very good deal. Took him so long to get approved. Some of the folks in the room took you so long to get approved. So long, so horribly long. It's just wrong. And what they're doing is they're obstructing. And that's a shame. But with Justice Gorsuch, they said, and I've always said, as president, just about, now I would always say defense is the most important. But outside of defense, the most important thing you can do is the Supreme Court justice. Because if you pick the right one, they will say, go young, go young. Because the younger you have, the longer they're going to pick you. And he was 49 years old, which is very young for that position. But he could be there for 30 to 40 years, to think about it. And every time you have a 5-4 decision, in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's because of you, because of that pick. And that's the right decision. That's a really, so picking a great justice of the United States Supreme Court is to me a very, very important thing. I guess it's important to everybody. So I just want to thank the people in this room, because a lot of you were here right from the beginning, when it wasn't really fashionable to be supporting Trump, when they thought that Trump wasn't going to do so well. Although I didn't know fairness. Look, we announced on June 16th, Melania, right? And from June 16th, about 2 weeks in, we were #1. And I was on center stage every single time. So we never lost center court, right? Center stage, we were #1. And then I hear these people, oh, I mean, it's not going to win. You know, they're hoping. But you folks were with me, and then we went up, and then we started doing fantastically well in the primaries, and then we won the primaries against some very talented people, some great people, some people that are now part of the administration, but we had some very talented people that we all ran against. And then we had to run against Hillary, and of course that's a very big machine, as you know. It's a very powerful machine, and a very dangerous machine in many ways. But we had to run against Hillary Clinton. And whether we like it or not, she's a very capable person. And that all worked out well, and here we are. And now we have an economy that's doing phenomenally well. We have a military that's building like it hasn't been built in many, many years. We have crime way down at a low level. We have some of the police here. We have a great sheriff with a beautiful family. Where's my sheriff with that beautiful family? He's around here someplace. And he said law enforcement now. Law enforcement is really in a position where they're proud, and they really supported me, so that we need law enforcement. We love our police, we love our sheriffs, and all the people that protect us and take care of us, and we have to support them 100%. But we made tremendous strides in a very short period of time, and we've just begun. We're going to have tax cuts, and they're going to be among the biggest we've ever had in our country's history. We're going to have tax reform. The hardest thing, because you go live with this or live with that, you lose on one side, you lose on the other side. But the healthcare is a very difficult thing, but one way or another, that's going to get solved. But we're coming very, very soon with very massive tax cuts for the middle class. We're going to have trillions of dollars pouring back into our country. We're going to bring that money that's been sitting over there for years because of these big companies like Apple, like AT&T, like all of these big companies that have money outside of our country, far away in faraway places. They want to bring it back. And the tax rate, and also the bureaucracy, the massive amount of work that has to be done just to request it, is people have no idea how bad that is. That's almost as bad as the rate itself. But I believe we have $5 trillion that's going to be pouring back into this country. I think that's probably the number you used to hear, $2.5 trillion, but that was years ago. I think it could be as high as $5 trillion going to be coming back in. So we have a tremendous amount of work to do. I don't think anybody as president has done as much in the first 5 months. A lot of people say that, a lot of people start to say that. And I just want to thank this group, because this group is a very, very special group. I know you said, Steve, over $10 million you raised tonight, which is a record, and the party is just doing really well. But I just want to thank your friends. You've been there from the beginning. You believed in me when a lot of people didn't. A lot of people were going in other directions. You believed in me, and I trust you can guarantee this. I will never forget it. I know the people in this room. I love the people in this room. They're very, very special people, and I will not ever, I will not forget it. And so thank you very much for the success of what we've done.